Hello everybody! My name is Jack and welcome back. You know the format of this channel, which is teaching Italian language for free. Today we are with my friend Mike here. Say hi to Mike. Hi! Why are you booing at me? It was funny. Okay, don't worry. Today it is time for another lesson. I want to continue the series about Italian conversation because I think it is very important, fundamental that you start to practice what you learn theoretically in practical conversation. If you missed the first two parts, I leave down in the description links about the two first videos on how to introduce yourself and how to talk about age and where do you live in Italian language. So after this video, please have a look. I want to introduce another possible topic of conversation, which is what do you do for a living? In English, the formula is often the following question. What do you do for a living? In Italian, we can translate that sentence pretty much equally. What is how you start a question. Even in Italian, cosa is the right word. Cosa tu, you, fai is the verb to do. Fare in Italian language. For living, it is translated with per vivere. Okay, don't worry, now that we just have the right translation, we can analyze better the Italian grammar. Cosa, what, we already know. What does that mean? I leave in the description the video about interrogative adjectives. What are and how they work in Italian language, so you can be more prepared to sustain an Italian language conversation. But okay, let's just get in topic. And the first verb we are gonna face is the verb fare, the infinite form corresponding to the English to do. Fare, again, means doing something. Could be either crafting something, an object with your hands, doing something practically, or just simply performing an action. Fare, it is a good verb to memorize because it has a wide pool of possible usages in everyday conversations. Just a brief overview on how its conjugation patterns work. I'm gonna list the indicative mode and the three main tenses we are going to use in Italian language. The first three basic tenses, present, past, and future, that will allow us to make probably 90% of the sentences using this verb, fare. So, indicative mode, simple, present, is gonna be io faccio, tu fai, lui, lei fa. Noi facciamo, voi fate, loro fanno. Sorry for interruption. They just remind me you need to subscribe. Remember? Then the simple past. Io feci, tu facesti, lui, lei fece. Noi facemmo, voi faceste, loro fecero. Maybe I should drop a pro tip for genius speakers. First person, indicative mode, simple past of the verb fare, to do, io feci, is exactly equal to the word feci, which in Italian language means poop. If you want to use the verb to its past tense, the first singular person, io feci, it is probably the best solution to explicit the subject, io. Otherwise, dropping the word feci out of the blue could possibly be rude and generate misinterpretations. Io feci. That is definitely more comprehensible that you are talking to the verb to do and not about poop. Simple future, io farò, tu farai, lui, lei farà, noi faremo, voi farete, loro faranno. With these three conjugational patterns, you can probably nail 100% of the sentences you're gonna use in Italian language with the verb to do. But after, how do you do? For is the conjunction per, and then leaving the ing form in Italian, it is made using the verb to its infinite form. Vivere, to live. This verb I dropped in the previous chapter of this series when I taught you how to talk about where do you live. So you know already this verb. But just let's have a recap. Because now I can drop the conjugation in its indicative mode, simple present, simple past, and simple future. Simple present. Io vivo, tu vivi, lui, lei vive. Noi viviamo, voi vivete, loro vivono. Simple past. Io vissi, tu vivesti, lui, lei visse. Noi vivemmo, voi viveste, loro vissero. Simple future. Io vivrò. Remember the accents. Tu vivrai, lui, lei vivrà. Noi vivremo, voi vivrete, loro vivranno. Pro tip for genius speakers. With these three conjugational patterns, you will be capable to drop any infinite amount of sentences in Italian language. For instance, we can translate the English sentence, and they lived happily ever after. You can find that in any fairy tale, and it includes the verb to live in its past form. They lived, loro vissero felici. Summing up, what do you do for living can be translated with the sentence cosa tu fai per vivere makes perfect sense. However, I'm gonna drop another pro tip for genius speakers. Often, this complicated and long sentence is quite never used in everyday spoken Italian. Italians will probably ask you, che lavoro fai? And that sentence can be translated pretty much with, what job do you do? Lavoro stands for job. So lavoro is either a noun, but it is also a verb, because it can be the translation for either job or the verb to work. In the first case scenario, it is a noun. Il lavoro, generally it is masculine gender, and it stays masculine. Il lavoro, singular male, I lavori, plural male. The female versions don't exist. La lavora or le lavore makes no sense in Italian language. But lavoro also means to work. Lavorare, its infinite form. Again, in the indicative mode, I can drop the three main conjugational patterns. Simple present is io lavoro, I work. Tu lavori, you work. Lui, lei lavora. Noi lavoriamo, voi lavorate, loro lavorano. Then, simple past is gonna be io lavorai, tu lavorasti, lui, lei lavorò. Noi lavorammo, voi lavoraste, loro lavorarono. Oh! That is quite complicated. Remember the Italian R. R. The Italian R is very rumbling. R. Then simple future. Io lavorerò, tu lavorerai, lui, lei lavorerà. Noi lavoreremo, voi lavorerete, loro lavoreranno. How do we answer to that question? It is simple. As in English, can use the verb to be. In Italian, you can also use the verb to be. Sono un insegnante. Insegnante is the translation, the noun for teacher. And it is irregular because it ends with the vowel e, but it is not feminine. It is masculine in gender. No, wait. It is masculine because I'm male. Un insegnante. But if I were a woman, I would be una insegnante, female. Luckily for you, the final vowel doesn't change. So if you swap gender, it remains insegnante. But the most important thing to know is, in Italian you can use the verb to be to answer. I am whatever, whatever. Again, I leave in the description a video about how verb to be works in Italian language. Because I care about you, I'm gonna drop the verb to be into its main third conjugational pattern. Simple present. Io sono, tu sei, lui, lei è. Noi siamo, voi siete, loro sono. Simple past. Io fui, tu fosti, lui, lei fu. Noi fummo, voi foste, loro furono. Simple future. Io sarò, tu sarai, lui, lei sarà. Noi saremo, voi sarete, loro saranno. They will be. What time is it? Oh, it is time for another free pro tip. You can answer also using the other verbs I've listed so far. So you can use the verb to work or the verb to do to answer. You can say io lavoro, I work, as a bartender. Io lavoro come barista. Barista is the translation for bartender. Or you can use the verb to do. Io faccio il medico. I do the doctor. In English, it doesn't make sense, but in Italian, it is very commonly used the form io faccio il dottore. I'm sorry? Come again? Oh, yes, of course, you're right. You don't know the translation for professions. And that's why I'm here. For instance, you can say, I'm a student. Io sono uno studente. Often with professions in Italian language, as happens in English, you want to use the indefinite article. I'm a student, sono uno studente. Male, because I'm male. You can say, if you are female, io sono una studente. Or better, I can drop a pro tip for genius speakers, because for some professions, like studente, especially if it ends with vowel e, you're gonna add essa to make it clear that you are referring to a woman or female worker. So una studente, it is quite correct. But if you want to impress with 100% correct Italian language, you're gonna say sono una studentessa. I am a professor. Io sono un professore because I'm male. If I was female, I had to say io sono una professore. Huh? No, it is better to say professoressa, female. Same happens for doctor. I am a doctor. Io sono un dottore, male. Io sono una dottoressa, female. For what concerns other professions that end with different vowels, like cuoco, cook. I am a cook. Sono un cuoco or sono una cuoca, female gender. In this very case scenario, it is only sufficient enough to swap the final O for a final A. I'm a waiter. Sono un cameriere. Sono una cameriera. I'm an office worker. Io sono un impiegato, if you are male gender. Or io sono una impiegata. You change vowels, both article and noun, to match the female gendered. I'm housewife. Actually, in Italian, it could be sono una casalinga. However, a housewife is a little bit discriminatory because it refers only to females that are working at home. In Italian, we have also the word for male ones. So I can say io sono un casalingo. Makes perfectly sense. Could be translated with the house husband. Cool. If you are a generic worker, in Italian you can use the word operaio. A lot of O's, typical for Italian language. Operaio is male gender, so io sono un operaio, io sono un'operaia. Un'operaia is the contraction for una operaia, female. If you are a desk worker, or generically you want to say that you are an employee, you can say sono un impiegato or sono un'impiegata. Again, you can be a cop. Io sono un poliziotto, io sono una poliziotta, female. Or a lawyer. Io sono un avvocato, io sono una avvocata. Or better, avvocatessa. Another example could be I'm a shop owner. It is a generic way to refer to the matter of fact you are owning a shop. So in Italian you can say io sono un negoziante or io sono una negoziante. Or in this case scenario you can put emphasis on the matter of fact you own the business and using the verb to have to express the possession. I have a shop. I own a shop. In Italian you can use io ho un negozio. Ladies and gentlemen, class is dismissed. I really hope you liked the video. If that happened, please subscribe and hit the like button. But most importantly, I invite you to write in the comments if you know the Italian translation for your profession. In the meantime, remember, stay tuned for more content coming and speak like a genius. Bye bye. Hey!